Yes, sir. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, the channel that scours all of the internet and brings you guys the scariest, weirdest, strangest, creepiest, most outlandish TikToks and conspiracy theories and brings them all to you in one place for your viewing pleasures. Now, we are a new channel, guys, so if you don't mind, please consider smashing that subscribe button. And if you do end up liking the content, please also consider smashing that like button as well. It's going to help cement us in YouTube's algorithm and push our content out on a larger, broader basis. Now, with all that said, I have a crazy one for you guys today. A lot of weird stuff going on in this video, guys. So enough all this chit chat. Let's get right into it, y'all.
People can actually watch this footage and believe it's real.
Houston, we've had a problem. Main B, bus undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Stand by 13, we're looking at it.
So tell me, everybody, why haven't we been back?
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Now, I want you to think about the absolute crazy amount of progression there has been in the last 50 years with technology. It's a painful process to build this again. Is that foil? Let's not forget the phone call transmitted from the moon to the president.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And there's certainly...
That's the most telling part to me, because you can't even put film through certain scanners at the airport without destroying it. But you can transmit all the way from the moon to the Earth through the Van Allen radiation belt. But I know people actually believe we didn't go to the moon.
I don't know, guys. Did we get to the moon? Did we not get to the moon? I'll tell you one thing. My phone service sometimes has a problem going from one state to the next. But you're going to tell me that decades ago, they were able to make a phone call from the moon to the president in the United States? Seems kind of sus.
I am running out of reasons to believe that the NFL isn't scripted at this point, okay? And I find stuff like this really hard to believe. It's just irrational. Like, it's damn near impossible that this could happen. And people started saying it was scripted at the beginning of the season, so the NFL had a bunch of celebrities, like, read the script or whatever it was. Okay, cool, funny, haha. But now December rolls around and some absolute bullshit starts to happen, okay? So first I see this video about this guy who saw leaked news where the 49ers and the Ravens were in the Super Bowl, and these were the halftime performers. So I think to myself, okay, this could just be fake. This could just be some bullshit. Then yesterday, I see this video where this guy was taking a piss at Dave & Buster's and there's a Super Bowl poster above him. Once again, Ravens and 49ers. Then today, without fail, I see this video of this lady getting a cookie cake at some grocery store, and what do you know? Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers. And not that this next part's related, but there's been this kid who has guessed every single playoff matchup until this point, and guess who his picks were for this week. Look at you being all smart. I didn't even have to say it. Okay, listen, either this is an insane marketing campaign by the NFL or it's scripted. I'm convinced.
Is the NFL scripted? I don't even know what to say to this. I mean, it would make sense. There's no way that somebody can predict both teams in the Super Bowl and the winners multiple years in a row. It's just, nope, not buying it.
You know that that app, the Angelica cat. Talking app?
Talking Angela.
Oh, Talking Angela. Yeah. Recently has actually turned into an app where they can spy on kids now.
No.
Yeah. It's the white cat with the blue eyes. If you ask her a question, it can answer anything, right? So recently it got taken over by a group of like really creepy people.
Yeah.
And if you're 18 or older and it sees that you're 18 or older, or you put in that information, nothing will happen to you. But everybody that experienced it that's 18 and under, it'll start asking questions like, what is your name?
Oh, shit.
What are your parents' names? And where do you live?
Yo, what the fuck?
And there's pictures that have recently been floating online.
Yeah.
Where if you zoom into Angelica's eye, you see a person.
Oh no. What do you guys think about this one? Is Talking Angela listening to all the juicy gossip and spying on you? Is there another man sitting on the other end of the camera watching? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think below.
You need to hear this crazy conspiracy about iPhones. Have you ever thought about why an iPhone has its name? Some people think when Apple says I, it literally means I. iPhones are watching us, listening to us, and seeing everything we're doing. And some people have this link to the Illuminati. Don't believe me? What's Siri spelled backwards?
Get a droid and call it a day.
These conspiracy theories will ruin your childhood. This first theory is about the movie Frozen and how some people believe it was created as a cover-up for how Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen and plans to be brought back to life. Because now if you search up the words Frozen and Disney, you'll only see results from the movie. But before the movie existed, you could find more information about how Walt Disney cryogenically froze himself. It's even rumored that Walt Disney's body is hidden somewhere in Disney World. But believe it or not, this next theory is even crazier. And it's how Tom and Jerry is actually World War II propaganda. So first of all, we have to point out that the nickname for British soldiers during World War II were Tommies, and the nickname for German soldiers were Jerrys. And in almost every episode of Tom and Jerry, Tom tries to unalive Jerry, but Jerry outsmarts him, which, going by the Tommies and Jerrys association, could be a message about German intelligence. But if you still don't believe me, Tom and Jerry came out in 1940, the same year as the Battle of Britain. Let me know if you believe these theories and follow for more.
I know there'd be a lot of little girls out there really upset if they found out that the movie Frozen was just one giant psyop to hide Walt and his cryogenically frozen body somewhere in the park. Tom and Jerry? Yeah, I mean, the dates match up, their actions match up, their names match up. I mean, it's, what more can you say?
That's not Missy Elliott. That's not Braun either. Definitely not Oprah. And definitely not Randy Jackson. Do you get it yet?
Let me talk to you.
Between whoever those people are supposed to be and whatever was walking in that Miami mall, ready or not, they are bringing this fight straight to your doorstep. And if this causes you any type of fear, you could do one of two things. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
What's the matter? Y'all didn't know Braun wasn't human? This has been common knowledge for a long time.
No, it's even more weird is if you take a picture of a $1 bill on the back.
It looks like an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you actually, well, you turn the contrast all the way up. And yeah, the contrast reveals an alien head and the face, the eyes, everything. It's kind of genius. What's in your pocket?
Yeah, Roswell.
I've never heard of an alien on a dollar bill, but I'll tell you this, as soon as this video is done, first thing I'm doing, taking a picture of a dollar, scanning it in, and cranking that contrast all the way up.
Right. I'll tell you what, I had a CIA agent on my podcast. He was saying that, because there was a conspiracy that one of my friends brought to my attention that, you know, when Trump travels, he still travels with a presidential motorcade, which like no ex-president, Obama, nobody gets that. It would be like $2 million a fucking day just to travel. You can't do it. He still has a full presidential motor, wherever that guy goes, fucking motorcycles, limos, fuck yeah. Same shit, because some people think there's a conspiracy about some type of clause that he signed maybe before January 6th, after, where he's actually still the president. He still has all the presidential power. And somehow, I don't know, it's deep. It's deep. It's deep, right? It's fucking deep out there, and that Biden's not really the president. Trump still is, based off this motorcade. Yeah, so I brought that up to him. And he goes, I can't comment on that. I won't comment on that. And he goes, as a matter of fact, edit out you even asking me that question. I swear to Christ. And I was like, what? Fuck? And then he was open to anything else. He was like, edit that out. And then when we were leaving, he goes, make sure you edit out that question. Don't even ask me that. I was like, sure.
Have any of the other past presidents had bread like Trump has? I mean, whether you hate him or love him, let's call a spade a spade. He's rich. He's very well off. $2 million a day well off? I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Is Trump still pulling the strings from behind the curtains? I guess it's possible.
The Kardashians might be hiding something disturbing. Okay, so there's a theory that in the 1800s, an ancestor of the Kardashians sacrificed her soul to 4 witches so that all the women in her bloodline will always have fame, success, and beauty. But on the flip side, every single man they have a relationship with will suffer. And the crazy thing is, Kylie Jenner literally said it herself.
Every male figure that comes and dates dates a Kardashian, their life kind of just goes downhill after.
Rob Kardashian going from model to actor to having severe depression and not being able to leave his house. Scott Disick, who was a very successful businessman, to struggling with alcoholism and depression. Lamar Odom, who is a very successful basketball player, started dealing with addictions and overdoses. Next up is Travis Scott, who is one of the most successful artists in the world, has one of the most disastrous concerts in history, and hasn't dropped an album in years. Bruce Jenner transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner and got ostracized by her whole community. And finally, we have Kanye, and I think we all know about Kanye.
Listen, y'all, I get it. They're beautiful women, okay? I don't think they made a deal with a witch or a devil or anything, but I will say it is very odd how all of the men in the family or the men that were attached to the women in the family have all spiraled out of control. All of them, or every single last one of them.
Have you heard of the theory how men are actually going extinct? Wait, men are no longer going to exist? Scientists are finding that our Y chromosomes in our DNA are actually shrinking. As we know, right, our bodies are made of DNA. Women have 2 X chromosomes when men have an X and a Y chromosome. And you can see that the Y chromosome is actually a lot smaller. What would even cause that to shrink? Apparently, scientists are finding that the Y chromosome is actually degenerating rapidly, and they're finding that the Y chromosome is slowly getting smaller and smaller. And once it disappears, men are extinct. And this all could be linked to a couple males throughout our generation that had a couple bad genes, and it slowly just gets worse and worse throughout generations past them. But this whole male extinction thing probably won't happen for a very, very long time. But if things start getting crazy with genes and DNA, it could happen a lot sooner.
Okay, this is crazy. Ever since 2020, it's just been all downhill.
It's crazy because when you look at, women's chromosomes for DNA, the 2 X's are very bold. Like science and technology, they say that there's a possibility that they might be able to find an alternate chromosome like to replace the Y.
Men are just going to be genetically modified?
I guess so.
I don't know, guys. This is a weird one. Is the male species becoming extinct?
One of the creepiest and weirdest conspiracy theories says that for the last 140 years or so, many of the most powerful men in the world, and it is only men, gather at this secret location to perform a ritual in front of a giant owl statue. The place is called Bohemian Grove, they say, and attendees include almost every former president, CEOs, any power player in society. They gather here once a year in front of the owl and the bonfire. But the weirdest and most chilling part of all of this is that it's totally true and not controversial. You can go to Wikipedia, just go look up Bohemian Grove. It's a known location. You can go there right now. It's all fenced off. It even includes a photo from one of the gatherings. This is from 1967. There's Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, all just sitting around the table. The ceremony they perform in front of the owl statue is called Cremation of Care, and the powerful people dress up in costumes. The giant owl statue is called the Owl Shrine, and it has speakers and audio equipment inside of it so that it can speak to them in a booming voice. One of the first meetings to discuss the Manhattan Project happened at Bohemian Grove. And yes, it's still in operation. Recent attendees include Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. This, by the way, is why I so strongly dislike fake conspiracy theories, because you don't need to make things up. Powerful people are weirdos.
Yeah, this one's not a conspiracy theory. This is real. There's a place called Bohemian Grove where I think it's once a year in the summertime. All of the elites of the elites of the elites gather and talk about how they're gonna probably take over the world domination.
The Men in Black real. For decades, people have reported encountering these strange men after they witness a UFO. In many cases, they show up at witnesses' houses in vintage black cars to ask bizarre and intimidating questions. There's also something strange about them, as they appear to void facial features or are often sickly pale and act almost robotic with their movements. It's said that these are either government agents or aliens trying to cover up UFO activity.
Are the Men in Black real? Is that a real thing? A real agency? Those pictures didn't look anything like Will Smith, so who knows? If they are, yo, ET, phone home to your boy. Send me an application. Send me a job app.
Unreal Engine 5.1 pretty much proves we're living in a simulation. I mean, just look at it. These graphics just keep getting better and they're seriously starting to trick my brain. According to simulation theory, if we ever get to a point in which we can't tell video game graphics apart from reality, and we're clearly starting to get there, then that essentially 100% confirms we are currently living in a simulation. The idea here is that any civilization advanced enough to create a VR world that is a one-to-one replica to reality will inevitably make such a simulation of the entire universe, complete with sentient life that believes itself to be real, just like you and me. So if we end up making a simulation that is a one-to-one replica of reality, including planets, humans, physics, the entire universe, then that simulation that we make is also guaranteed to make its own simulation since it was simulated after us. Think simulation meets Inception, a simulation inside of a simulation. So then if that's the case, this pattern of creating simulations within simulations will repeat forever inside this inevitable simulation chain. So then after all this infinite simulation nonsense, we essentially have one base reality and an infinite amount of simulated realities, which means the chances of this current reality we're living in is the base reality is 1 over infinity, which for those of you who don't understand math, 1 over infinity is 0%. So there is a 0% chance that we're living in the base reality, which is the only real reality, and a 100% chance that we're living in a simulated one. Yo, did that make sense? Because I don't even know this rabbit hole we just went down.
Are we living in a matrix? Are we living in a simulation? I don't know, guys. He said when you can't differentiate between reality and a virtual reality world. Have you seen the graphics from a VR headset?
I'm sorry, they just found what in Iceland? They are doing what? Imagine drilling into a volcano, just right down into the magma chamber of a live volcano which has been erupting for the last few weeks, killing people. Sound like a good idea to you? So as I'm sure you know, in Iceland there are a few active volcanoes. Some have actually been causing havoc the last month or two in the country. In the last week or so, even worse, causing absolute carnage in cities, wiping things out, so not good. However, scientists have realised they could use these volcanoes and the magma to do something pretty insane. They are planning to drill straight down through it into the magma chamber. Yep, just drill straight down to it. For one, to finally understand what the oceans of molten lava actually look like and see what information and data they can gather from that. But also to hinge amounts of energy which are released down there, potentially leading to a renewable energy source of unlimited energy. And I mean, that would be pretty groundbreaking. So these scientists are going to be digging down, which is, you know, nonetheless dangerous, but hopefully they're going to make some pretty cool discoveries and see what they can actually do with the energy down there.
Can you imagine walking into work, right, and your boss coming up to you and saying, hey, so your duties for today, the rest of the week, month, year, whatever, you see that volcano over there? Mm-hmm. You see the drill over there? Right. Okay, so what you're going to do is take that drill and you're just going to keep drilling through that volcano. Magma, don't worry about it. You're all good. We'll give you a fire suit.
People are getting off the ride at It's a Small World in Disneyland Paris. What is going on? This mom said, I'm not playing, I'm getting my family out of here. Something's going on that nobody's talking about. Did you know that this was closed for a long time and it just opened up in 2023? So what would cause them to get off the ride like that? She took the whole family off. She said, no way.
What do you think was happening? What would cause a mom to rip her kids and family mid-ride off the ride? What do you guys think? Let us know below what it would take for you as a parent to rip your kids off of a ride.
Most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make like Santa Claus. Diego Garcia.
So
wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. It had 4 scientists on it. Huh? 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas, for Texas Instruments. And the ones behind that plane was Texas Instruments, the government, and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we have, next generation of cars will come out, there'll be no driver. So we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. And then here's a friend of y'all's who's with us. So 5 of us file for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all. So those 4 scientists, and the 5th person was the Carlyle Group. They own them all now. The patent was granted 3 days after the plane was missing.
Wow. Man, I knew that flight didn't just disappear. And if you think that an airplane can just disappear out of thin air, you need help. I didn't know that the plane was carrying a whole bunch of scientists. Furthermore, scientists who held very important patents. I think it's crazy how just after 3 days of the flight disappearing, they were already transferring the patents. Sounds fishy. A little sus.
Movie that came out. It's called Leave the Earth Behind. This is the one with Julia Roberts. Yeah, one with the Teslas. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed the 2 kids wearing the t-shirts.
No, I didn't.
One kid wearing an Obey t-shirt, and the other girl was wearing a NASA t-shirt. Obey NASA.
Oh.
A lot of people were saying NASA, what does that is a code for Satan. Everyone's saying like, oh, that NASA doesn't even spell that word. NASA always starts their countdown with T-.
Yeah, what's T-?
The missing letter to complete the word.
No, that's crazy.
The symbolism in the beginning and the middle and in the end.
Yeah.
The way they moved the movie was like through water, right? So there would be a painting behind the bed frame in the beginning, and it would just be calm waves, right? And then as the movie progressed and it got like crazier, then it would be wavier. There would be another painting, wavier. And then at the end, it would be pure chaos.
Look, all I'm going to say is if you haven't seen that movie, go check it out. There's a lot of very weird symbolism going on, a lot of strange theories and happenings in that movie. So give it a watch if you haven't seen it yet, for sure.
What do y'all think Hillary Clinton is referring to when she talks about breaking through the glass ceiling? The way she's referring to it makes it seem like she's talking about a firmament around the earth. And for all those people in the comments, firmament doesn't mean flat earth. It just basically means as above, so below, which is very common with the deity that these people worship. So I wouldn't necessarily count it out. But just make sure y'all pay attention to what she's saying and let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Follow me for more content as well.
It may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. We just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. Thanks to you and to everyone who's fought so hard to make this possible. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
I don't know, y'all. What is Hillary Clinton talking about? What could she be talking about other than that whole firmament thing, you know, with the glass ceiling? Nothing else really makes sense. If you have a theory or an idea of what she's talking about and it's not that firmament, please let us know below. Let me know, because it's just very interesting. I have no idea what the heck she's talking about.
Did Prince really just say this?
When I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time and say, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing and you didn't know why.
Now, come on, man. This is just from heavy air traffic, you know. There has to be some sort of airport nearby. These streaks in the sky are caused by the water vapor in the airplane's engine, and the low temperature causes ice crystals. It's not like they could just turn it off or... Okay, I don't know what that was about, but this is testing the weight limits of the planes, right, for passengers. And no, those aren't hoses hooking up to anything. Yeah, they're just testing the planes, guys. Now that's how they do their little writing in the sky, you know what I'm saying? It's just a crazy conspiracy.
Yo, was Prince trying to tell us something? Is this what Purple Rain was about?
2024 is going to be very chaotic. The Simpsons' 3 crazy predictions about 2024 make it seem even weirder. Number 1 has already happened. Number 3, war between the US and China. In one episode, a news anchor says sadly that America and China have declared war. A big nuclear attack is expected to reach our shores within an hour. With what is happening in the world now, there is a high chance of this happening. Number 2, the 2024 virus. The Simpsons predict another virus outbreak will happen in 2024. The episode shows how a burger leads to a zombie apocalypse after high-quality cows are made into meat sauce and fed to cows. Then humans make the cows into burgers and eat them, becoming zombies. Number 1, global inflation and economic crisis. The Simpsons predict an economic crisis for America in 2023. In an episode, a man tells Homer about anarchy and how the end of civilization is coming soon to America. But Homer says America can't collapse because we are strong like ancient Rome. Do you think 2024 will be a normal year?
What do you guys think? Simpsons right again? I don't know. We'll see. I guess only time will tell. But that's the end of the video for this week, guys. I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider smashing that subscribe button as well. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.